17. Tomorrow marks the 14th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks that killed thousands. And through speeches, presentations, memorial services, and events like the annual stair climb, we all remember what exactly happened that day. It's hard to forget. Joining us this morning with more on the inspirational keynote speech that highlights the national heroism during the attacks and details on memorial services tomorrow. We have a lot of people here this morning. It's good to have you all. So we're talking with Major Dan Pantaleo.
That's correct. Good to be
Lieutenant Melissa Romero with the Albuquerque Fire Department, and Joan Stassi with Daniel's Family Funeral Services. Good to have you all, as I mentioned. So Dan, let's start with you. And there's a speech that you have coming up, right? How are you marking and honoring the 14-year anniversary? That, it seems like a long time ago, but it really wasn't all that long ago for many of us that remember it.
Yeah, it sure wasn't. You know, 14 years ago after the attacks of 9/11, we saw our nation come together and the communities come together. There was a sense of cohesion, a sense of unity, but that's very perishable. And so it's important that we remember that date, we remember what happened, and we keep that in the forefront. That's part of who we are as Americans, and it's important that we continue to remember it. So part of what I do in my presentations and speeches is highlight some of the better stories of 9/11 and some of the American spirit that played out that day and the next days after that. You know, it's important that we do keep it in the forefront. So.
I think a lot of people would agree. And Joan, Daniel's Family Funeral Services is hosting a memorial ceremony here tomorrow. This is something you do every year?
Yes, sir. This will be our second year assisting the city of Albuquerque. We also have a service in Rio Rancho at Vista Verde Memorial Park that we're very proud of.
Why did you decide to sponsor something like this? Why sort of prompt people to come and remember?
This is our business. Our business is memorialization and honoring. That is something that we do every day. I think it's something that we do very well, and it is an honor and privilege to honor those that have sacrificed their lives for us. And we have almost 3,000 families that are begging us to remember their loved ones.
Yeah, you bet. And there's flags that are set up,
there
right?
Are
At the
flags.
funeral home, is that right?
That is at Vista Verde Memorial Park. 3,000 United States flags in the public servants garden that look up to our 9/11 memorial. And then we also have the handwritten names of the victims of 9/11 onto white dove flags that come out of the Pentagon. So it looks like doves of peace.
You bet. And the ceremony's at 6 tomorrow too.
Yes,
so that's
sir.
6 tomorrow night, something to remember. Melissa, let's talk about the stair climbing ceremony that's happening tomorrow. How's the community involved in that?
You know, the community comes out in a huge amount to come support our 9/11 events. This is the second annual community stair climb that we're hosting at City Hall in the morning, 8:30 a.m. All the proceeds will benefit the American Red Cross. You can register at eventbrite.com. You can get this really cool shirt, this year's shirt. So we ask the community to come out, you know, and support us and you know, climb for those people that perished on 9/11.
And as members of the fire department, it's got to be pretty significant to you to have people remember,
Yes.
even after 14 years.
It's really important to us and our fire chief to remember not only the 343 firefighters and paramedics that died, but all the civilians that passed away on 9/11.
Yeah, for sure. Dan, I want to find out a little bit more too about your speeches. And is there one taking place in Albuquerque?
Yeah, there are actually two taking place tomorrow. But I speak all around the world, as a matter of fact. Just got back from Europe. I talk about leadership. I talk about leading in chaotic environments. I talk about a lot of different subjects, but I always weave in my 9/11 story and what happened to me at the Pentagon during 9/11 and the 4 days afterward, because it's helped define who I am. I think it also helps define who we are as Americans.
You were there.
I was, yep. And from that experience came a book, my book, 4 Days at the Pentagon. And from that book, it has turned into speaking opportunities and a chance for me to use the pulpit to push forward the fact that we need to remember that date.
You bet. Where can people learn more about you and your book?
I have a website, danpantaleo.com. You could just Google Major Dan Pantaleo, Pantaleo, and that's where you'll find me.
We'll have a link to through KRQE.com, I know. And Daniel's Funeral Services is hosting this event tomorrow night at 6. Tell us where that is again, Vista Verde Park?
Vista Verde Memorial Park, Sarah and Meadowlark, just on the south end of Rio Rancho.
Join in. I know that hopefully there'll be a good response for that. And where's the stair climb taking place?
Stair climb is at Civic Plaza, 8:30 a.m., and the ceremony will be right after 10:30 a.m. on Civic Plaza.
Well, I appreciate you all being here. A very important time of the year, right?
Thank you.
Something that we want to remember every year. Thanks all.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
so
Well,
much.
again, have more on the link at KRQE.com. So look under the KRQE links, and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.